You never watch porn?
So I'm like a music gal.
What?
Hi, I'm Jamie-Lynn Sigler.
And I'm Robert Iler.
And this is our new podcast, Not Today, Pal.
And they found out that the chicken had a tumor and it was like pus. Not your favorite? They're going to ask us a question about Sopranos.
Let's split the difference and Jamie gets 1 point.
Give Rob his points. Like, why are you taking him away?
This is what he does. You have no idea what's about to happen.
I have no idea. I'm so excited, though. Available every Thursday, wherever you get podcasts.
Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Where my mom's at? Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at? Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at?
Where my mom's at podcast with Christina P.
Guess what? One night in Barfalo, Judork Titties. No, it's not New York City. It's just Judork. Barfalo at Helium Comedy Club, September 6th. One night in Toronto. Those tickets are almost gone. September 7th. And then September 8th, I go to Winnipeg, Wilhepeg, Canada. September 14th through 16th, Comedy Vax, downtown Denver. They're already selling out. A couple of shows are already gone. So get those tickets now. Wise Guys in Short Lake City, Puta, October 13th to 14th. And then I added, because I haven't been there in so long, the San Jose Improv, just one night on the October 15th as well. ChristinaPOnline.com for tickets. Also, please buy my lipstick if you haven't already. People have been writing me that the texture's great. People even enjoy the flavor. That's how good this lipstick is, because I made it in Italy. So I made sure that they made it pasta flavored. It's pizza flavored. Just kidding. It's marinara. And with me today, one of my oldest and dearest friends in show business, in life, Sarah Tiana, everybody.
Just when you were saying San Jose Improv, it was bringing back the memory of us in your Volkswagen Jetta driving to the San Jose Improv. And you were constantly hanging up on Tom on the drive like, oh, God, he's so needy. You kept saying he's so needy. You're like, all you have to fucking do to get a guy, Tiana, is just ignore him. Well, as soon as you ignore him, they're like, burr, 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 call me. You would say that all the time. And I go, do I need to ignore more guys?
But now you got it. You got the dude, you got the kid. Yeah. Do you ignore him? Did you ignore him?
I caught, yeah. I mean, no, not at the beginning.
Okay.
But now, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, ugh.
Where, I mean, he does this thing where he wants me to golf with him all the time. No. And I'm like, but you just want me to go so I can see how good you are.
Oh, is that what that is?
He doesn't want me to really play. You know, no. He wants to be able to do it together for sure. But I'm like, I grew up, my dad played golf and it was me and my sister and my mom in Georgia. We didn't have any other family there. And I asked my mom once, I'm like, why does daddy never take us golfing? And mom was like, daddy needs a break.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, okay. So I just never got into golf because I'm like, no, that's dudes need a break.
Yeah.
And I always need a break. I'm like, he's like, can I go golf? I'm like, yes, you can go golfing. Go. Bye.
But is it golfing is dad's break? That's true. And then fishing. And then book club, is that the woman's break? Well, we form, I'm in a book club. It's basically what guys do fishing. You just drink and bullshit, right?
You're in a book club. I remember you telling me you were in a book club. Yeah.
But so do you enjoy golf though? Or it's so boring. It seems so boring. You just walk.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really exercising. And
is it exercise?
It is, because there's a lot of walking. Because a lot of people don't use, if you get a push cart, you know, you're outside in the sun, so you get your vitamin D. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good exercise. Not what I would prefer to do for exercise. When I want to be alone, I want to go to the nail salon the spa or just some little massage place.
I do massages a lot too. And I'm so bummed. I went to this place here in Austin and the girl was so good and I wanted to poach her. And I go, hey, you ever come to people's houses? And she's like, no, I don't have a table. I'm like, I have a table. You're so good. And she just would not give me her contact info.
Yeah. I wonder if they would get in trouble. Maybe they're not allowed to.
They're not allowed to, but I've poached before. I've been like...
You're bragging about your poaching.
I'm like, just slide me your number. No one's going to know. Girl.
Oh, God. That'd be creepy, though. I'd be like, all right. I don't know. Somebody wants me in their house really bad.
Yeah, and then I'm like, just rub my beaver.
Yeah, don't.
Shh, nobody's going to know.
But you have a stuffed beaver. That's what you mean in
That's
your
what- yeah,
massage
it's-
room.
yes,
Yes, you
it's-
love your taxidermy.
My taxidermy beaver. So you and I have essentially, I mean, it's so funny. You and I have grown up together in a way.
Oh, so completely.
20 years now.
Yeah,
So
20 years.
We've gone through being, single young girls with just like the dream of show business in our eyes to like now we're both on the other end of like we've got motherhood. We actually made a career in Hollywood, which is unbelievable. And you and I have always been like the one girl in the room. Because that's all they allowed at one point was just one girl in the room.
You can't have more than one. Well, then it's just a girls show. It was either an all-girls show or you were the only girls show. And you're like, ugh, here we go. And then you speak up in the room and you go, I think that's kind of problematic. I don't think women think like that at all. They're like, listen, sweetheart. I'm like, that's also a problem. You can't say sweetheart anymore? I'm like, not when you're saying it like that.
I know.
Not like, listen. Child. That's basically how it sounds sometimes. And then, so I would just constantly push back, or I would sit next to the writer that everyone respected, and I would run my jokes by him to make him feel empowered, like he was helping me. And then, then he would fight for my jokes because he had helped me with those. And then all of a sudden you start commanding the room and then you become the head writer and then you're just off, Can
you say what project this was that you were working on?
That was The Burn. That was a long time ago. So we had 14 writers on that show and they were studs. These are like guys who are on Family Guy now or, like came from Letterman. They were real studs. And I would just sidle up to the best ones.
Smart.
And they would, and like still very good friends with me. I mean, they don't know that I was mind fucking them, but
these are the heaviest hitters. So for those of you who don't know, in comedy, really, there's several different lanes you can get into if you're interested in comedy. There's like sketch, right? So if you want to go to SNL, you should start working on your characters. Like Melissa Villaseñor, I would say, is probably one of my favorite people who we got to watch become that SNL person. I mean, she was amazing with her characters from day one, and then she would just put them on Instagram, and eventually you get discovered when you're crazy good like that. So there's like the sketch lane, there's the stand-up comedy lane, which I've always felt really comfortable and just, I want to be myself. I don't want to fucking write anyone else's joke. I can only say there's comedic actors, and then there's the writer, which like you can write roast jokes, which your jokes are fucking so perfectly structured and mean and great. And then you're also a great screenplay writer and television and film writer. So like there's so many different lanes you can choose. But yeah, women were not really welcome at the beginning. And it's funny because now it's like, it seems so, I have young boys coming to my shows and they are like, what do you mean that a woman wouldn't be the headliner? But it really took this generation to like push it into the next.
Well, I think it also came into just being like more of a consistent seeing women on stage.
Like
I think
Sarah Silverman, Lisa Lampanelli.
Yeah, more
Chelsea
specials
Handler.
are coming out with women, and so
Speaking of, 44 is out on YouTube right now. Check her out.
Thank you. But I think it took a long time for society to learn to laugh at a woman. I think you're raised as a man to respect women. You've been told, all through the 90s, like, you don't treat women like that. You treat them with respect,
Yeah.
And then you see them on stage, like, burping and farting, and you're like, wait. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And so I think there's some people who just don't think women should talk, and then there's other people who are transfixed and don't know what they're supposed to do and if it's okay. And it takes a second for your brain to go, and relax. When I started stand up, I realized that, and I would do a joke every 15 seconds for 5 minutes until I was just wearing you down, like making you stop thinking about it. I got you. I'm in control. I got you. I don't need your help. You don't need my help. You're fine. And like, I'll take care of it.
So true. It's because I remember when I first started featuring and going around the country telling jokes, this is like, almost 20 years ago. And literally I would go to the deep South to like Tennessee or whatever, Knoxville. And there would be just all the men in the audience. It's so funny now. Cause back then it was all arms folded. They shit, is this one going to talk? And how fucking long, but you wear them down. You go, because I never saw myself as a woman. I might be non-binary. I think I am. I identify as a being who transcends gender. I don't give a fuck what you think I am. I am what I am. And yeah, you go above it and you go, that's okay. You're going to come around. You're going to come around. And we had to fight that. And then now the audiences are like young boys who come and they're just like, yeah, mommy, of course, I'm going to listen. And their arms aren't folded anymore.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. You have to see yourself. You have to imagine yourself already there, right?
Yeah.
You have to see yourself as the thing, even though society might be still 2 steps, 3 steps behind you. Mm-hmm. And then you have to be clever because women can't go at the thing the same way the man does in career. I'm sorry, in comedy. I can't speak for other industry.
Yeah.
But you're right. We can't, it's different, especially in the writer's room. That's a very specific culture. So sorry, back to you. You worked on The Burn, which was like, Jeff Ross is like the king of the roast jokes. I mean, these guys are just so fucking funny and quick. And here's little Sarah Tiana. And how old were you when you got into that room?
So the way I got into
that Burn again.
room was I was running a show. I was running a show in LA called at the Unknown Theater. And for a year, Jeff Ross would come in, or not a year, but like he would start practicing his roast jokes. You know, I'm roasting this person or that person.
Comedy Central
he would come in.
Would have celebrities like it's the roast of fucking Dolly Parton or
Donald
Pamela
Trump,
Anderson.
Hugh
Trump.
Hefner,
So you
Pamela
have
Anderson.
a certain amount of weeks to prepare your jokes. Okay.
So he came into my room to practice those jokes. And eventually I said, what's the next roast you're doing? And he said, Donald Trump. And I said, what's your email? And he gave it to me. And I just would send him, bombard him with jokes until he finally just couldn't ignore me. And then he started bringing me over to the house to write.
Psycho?
Yeah. And I came over to the, he was doing the Charlie Sheen roast. That was the next one. And I came over and it was Tony Hinchcliffe and Matt Edgar in the backyard.
Tony.
And they're all sitting around. Nobody they couldn't afford computers, so everybody's got notepads and Jeff says, I want to start the roast with a quote, I'm going to come out like friends, Romans, countrymen. And I go, oh, lend Mike Tyson your ears. And then they were all like,
oh, that's so good.
And Tony's like, motherfucker, we've been sitting here for half an hour. And so I immediately, and Jeff's, he's like, I can't pay you. I go, you don't need to pay me. Just remember me for a gig. Like if you ever get a gig, just remember me. And so he took me to a USO show and then he got The Burn. And so he said, you're on it.
And then you were staffed.
And I was staffed and I got in the WGA.
Did you guys hear that? For anybody listening, just because it doesn't exist yet doesn't mean it won't. Mm-mm. Yeah. And you just have to pursue it like you mean it. And I'm like, I'm going to cry because that's so amazing. And also just for you, so people listening know, like Sarah and I do not hate men. I think it comes off sometimes like we actually want to be in the club. Mm-hmm. We love what you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. So it was more just like, let me prove to you that I'm not just some cute girl and let me be taken somewhat seriously as a comedy writer. So yeah, we just wanted to be part of the club.
Yeah, and I don't think even then I thought, oh, I'm going to go on to write other TV shows. I just really liked roast jokes, and I just really liked writing them. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll just see it. This guy seems to be good at it also.
Amazing.
I don't think I really thought that far ahead. And then the longer you get into it, the more and more you go, oh, I'm actually very good at finding your voice and finding the joke for you to say through your voice. And when you are on a roast, you're assigned to someone usually. Like I was always assigned to the athletes because I was the only one who knew who they were. And I was always the only girl, but also the only one that knew who they were. And so, you start creating and crafting a script. And that is where I really shine, is where figuring out the exact order of things for you to say, how everything can flow from one thing to another. And I just can make it this very well-rounded.
So if you're so you're roasting somebody, what's the opener? Tell me your process. Like, how do you?
What do you mean opener?
Like, what's the first joke?
Depends on the person. Peyton Manning. I think I had him say, I'm not the only athlete up here. Just this year, Ann Coulter won the Kentucky Derby. Like you can do stuff like that. Or like. I love Amazing. A good joke because I'm when I write a joke about you, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm trying to impress you. I'm not going to say anything that's just that's just shitty about
Yeah.
you. You know, that's why you only roast the people that you love. And when I do
Yeah.
roast battles, I don't say yes to just anybody. I have to really like you.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to give you material that you can use for yourself,
Yeah.
I better fucking love you.
Yeah.
You know? Because I'm going to be doing a lot of research. So you better be worth my time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to like them enough to sit down and dedicate a few hours to
Yeah.
sitting and thinking about details about this person. Because nothing was more obnoxious after a while. It was like, if there was a woman who was being roasted, it was like, okay, we get it. Her pussy's big. Her pussy stinks. She's
Yeah.
old and
Oh.
ugly. We get that. Like Lisa Lampanelli, I used to love watching. But they always go after her and her looks and her pussy. And she's like, yeah, I fuck black guys. Check. I'm fat. Check. And it was like, all right. Well, what about her?
Right.
Get in her character flaws.
Yeah.
That's the funniest shit, too.
Yeah. So, my favorite joke was one Geraldo said, which was
He was
like,
the best.
Lisa Lampanelli's kind of like the Octomom. She hasn't had 8 kids, but she has had 80 fingers inside of at one time.
It's amazing.
A great joke. Great joke.
Greg Giraldo.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. He was one of the first comedians that I was like, I must know this. I must know you. I studied him. I memorized his albums. I only got to meet him once, and I was just like, oh, I'm so bummed that he's gone. But his roast jokes, he used to be the closer. They brought Geraldo out at the end of the roast, which means that every roast joke has been exhausted, and this guy's going to have the zingers. So how the fuck how does the last guy have the best? So how does that work when you're writing as a team?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you write into a bank, and it's basically like jokes for Greg to say, jokes about Greg, right? Jokes for Lisa to say, jokes about Lisa, and then, but I think the way that it all can feel different is when you use your own personality within your joke. So with Peyton Manning, his angle is from the athlete's point of view. When it's Jewel,
interesting.
it's from a singer's point of view, or being homeless point of view, or
Yeah,
like
or
whatever
Alaskan
it is.
or whatever, yeah.
So it's from a different point of view. So then everything feels a little bit different. You're still calling everything's the same. You're always saying old, dumb, ugly, fat,
Yes.
whatever. It's always,
Yes.
but it's just finding a new, interesting way of saying it. Like I remember for James Franco, I wrote this joke for Jeff that was like, James Franco, you're an insult to Italian actors everywhere. James Gandolfini must be trying to roll over in his grave right now, right? And it's right after Gandolfini dies. So it's like the perfect time.
Yeah.
And it's really a fat joke
it's
about
so-
Gandolfini,
yes,
but
yes.
it's also an insult to Franco because I'm saying like you're disrespecting Italians,
Yes.
you know? And so
It's amazing.
like who's the ultimate Italian? And then it's just everything is math to me. So I'm just constantly finding the right plug and play.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you watch the old comedians, like I love Phyllis Diller. I studied
yeah.
Phyllis Diller. I studied Bob Hope. I studied like the greats. And you're right. There's really only a handful of topics. It's my stupid husband, my stupid wife, my fat so-and-so. Someone's fat, someone's too skinny, someone's too ugly, someone's too old. Yeah, there's only so many topics, but it's really who it's coming from that puts the flavs on
Right.
it. Yeah.
That's why it really
that's
bothers me in
interesting.
stand-up when they say, oh, women only talk about sex or their babies and their husbands. I'm like, what do you think fucking men talk about? Math,
Same
you
shit.
know? Oh, like it's
Same
all
shit.
the exact same stuff. You just think because it's me, it's not
Yeah.
worthwhile or important.
Yeah.
And that says more about you than it says about me.
Yeah, but what's interesting too, I found in stand-up is that, like, for instance, sometimes I'll have an idea for a bit and I'll be like, God, I wish I could say it. It's too mean for me. And I'll be like, hey, Tom, here's a premise I'm working on. I think if you want it, this one's way better coming out of your shell. You have to also consider
Yeah, sure.
over time how the audience reacts to you. You really have to be cognizant of that. So there's shit that he can say and it'll destroy. And if I try to say the same, no, because nobody wants to hear a white, blonde, sweet mom, whatever lady saying that thing. But I can get away with stuff that he can and vice versa. But it's really interesting what you're talking about. The voice that it comes from is and it takes years, I think, to figure that out as a comic.
I think it also takes years to to live in yourself and be comfortable with who you are and who you are not.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, and to stay out of my head, because I had this bit where I would come up on stage and I'd say, you know, now that I'm in my 40s, I don't like to do the things I used to enjoy doing. Like, I don't like to leave my house. I don't like to do that. I don't want to be here. And if in my head I said, I hope they don't think that I don't want to be here, it never worked.
It's never going to work.
But when I committed to it and I didn't think about them, I was thinking about myself and staying present.
Oh,
always worked.
Yeah.
So you can really psych yourself out by overthinking stuff. And I used to do that on the road with certain material. Like I would be like, oh man, I'm going to do this bit about guns and I wonder how they're going to take this. Yeah. And then I stopped caring and I started saying, they told me not to do that joke here, so I couldn't wait to do that fucking joke here. And what that says to people in the audience is, I don't agree with you, but she's brave and I respect her.
Yeah.
And so I could always get them back by just saying, fuck you. Yeah. I'm brave. I'm going to say what I came here to say. And like all of a sudden you just have them.
Yeah. It's like doing Black audiences. You learn that when you do the quote, they call them urban rooms, which is so silly. But when you first start headlining, they throw you in every room in America. And you learn that really fast in a Black room is that they smell your fear and they're not about you. They're not about it. If they smell it, you're fucking done. And you watch the Apollo, that shit's fear-based.
Oh God.
When they
I can't handle it. I get so uncomfortable.
I know Ian Edwards was here and he did the Apollo and I was like, man, did you just feel like the flop sweat already just listening to him?
Was that when he had long hair?
Yeah, like dreads and stuff.
Oh, did he get tapped out?
No, it was like a different thing. It wasn't the kind where they can like sweep you off stage, but it was the Apollo. And
God.
It's like,
I can't. No, I would.
That you got to believe
so
in yourself.
Hard.
Oh yeah, I mean you got to believe in yourself. Because,
I don't believe in myself.
No, right? Because if you don't, then they'll sniff it and they'll fucking evict you from the stage.
I remember that.
Look how his hair. He looks so cute. He's so young. Oh my God.
He looks exactly the same.
I know.
Just with short hair.
I know.
I know. I got to stop eating meat.
Seriously. Is he? Oh yeah, he's vegetarian.
Vegan. Fuck. Not even just vegetarian. He's.
Really? A Jamaican vegan. Who knew?
Ugh, yeah, so annoying.
Funny. So, I know, right? The roast became your lane.
Yeah.
And writing really became your lane. And that's so important to find your lane. I agree. To decide like, hey, I'm not really great at this and that. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause in the beginning, you're like, oh my God, maybe I'll be this, and maybe I'll be a sketch person, maybe I'll be an improv person. And then you're like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I think the older you get, the more you decide what you don't want to do, which becomes way more important. So for me, early in my career, I was just kind of trying out all this stuff. And I was really just trying out the roasting and the writing. And I really loved it. And I enjoy doing stand-up, but it is not something where I'm like, I can't wait to go up. What I don't like about stand-up is all the stuff around it. Yeah, I hate waiting to go on stage. And if this whole business, I never had to wait to go on stage, I would love it so much more. But I'm also not at a place in my career where when I go and do a show, everyone's there to see me. So it's it's constantly difficult. Like I've just never gotten to that place. But
after the special, you might. You don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
serious.
right.
It takes like one thing, and then, like I did my last special, Mom Jeans. I would put clips of it on TikTok, and it would get immediately taken down for hate speech. Like couldn't get taken down within seconds. I would be like, this one's a banger, and then gone, violating community guidelines. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, man. Like this killed in the room. I did this in New York City. This is a liberal city.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. And so, but sometimes it took a year now, and now I'm not getting flagged, and it's doing really well. But yeah, it's just, you never know. Okay, the point is, you never know. So you and I were always very career-focused broads, women, ladies, and then you and I became mothers.
I know. What a dumb thing. I'm just kidding. Did you want to? Were you guys really, really trying? You were like, because you had been married. You were married, so.
Yeah, so Tom and I got together when I was young. We were young. We were in our 20s, and so we got married.
I remember because I never knew you were dating. Remember? Each of you thought the other one didn't like me.
Yeah, so there was this comedian. Yeah, I forget who it was.
It was
really
another Sarah.
It was a different Sarah.
Or somebody. I don't know if her name was Sarah, but you guys all thought it was me.
Yeah, and for the longest time, I thought Tom hated you. And Tom thought that I hated you because it was this different comedian. And so he would see you out like at a show, like in Los Feliz, and he would be like, he wouldn't tell me that he ran into you for fear that I would be like, that fucking bitch. which is so funny. And then years later, I was like, you know who I really love? Sarah Tiana. He's like, I thought you hated that girl. I'm like, no, she's the best.
And then you told me we were at Vitello's. I still remember we were outside of Vitello's, fucking doing
That
probably some
fucking place.
Dante room.
Yeah.
And you go,
Oh my God, I remember that place.
I'm like, are you seeing anybody? And you go, yeah. And I go, what? You said, oh, Tom Segura. And I go, what? That's amazing. You guys are awesome. And I'm like, how long have you been together? And you're like, we're getting married next week. And I go, what the fuck? I was so hurt.
Really? I didn't know I hurt your
I mean,
feelings.
just like, now the story is so funny because I can understand why if you...
Well, I thought
But also the idea that anybody wouldn't like me is insane. You should have immediately had a red flag. Go up. Like,
well, that's true.
That should have been a deal breaker if you thought he didn't like me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Who doesn't like Sarah Tiana? I actually have never heard an unkind word about you. I actually haven't.
That's not true.
No, I haven't. No one ever has been like, you know who fucking sucks? Which comedians, more than we love talking about comedy, is we love talking about who we mutually hate.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Yeah, that's the best, isn't it?
It's so funny that you brought that up because I tweeted one time that my favorite part about doing stand-up is gossiping in the green room.
Oh, nothing better.
Yeah, and then this comedian, right?
Yeah.
Comes at me like, this is exactly why I like hate comedy. And I'm like, or she said, this is exactly why I left Hollywood. And I was like, bitch, that ain't why you left Hollywood. And she used to perform in a bikini and I'm like, get out of here, dude. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take any moral test from a girl that does stand up in a bikini.
Okay, so it's funny because, I think when we were coming up, you really had to play down my looks so that people would take me seriously.
Yeah.
And when you're 26 and you're cute, I personally would be like, I'm one of the guys. Like that stupid 80s movie where I'm like strapping my tits down, like so dumb. Like, okay, but we kind of had to because they wouldn't let you into the Comedy Store if you were perceived as just being like a hot girl who didn't have material. And that was really, really frowned upon. The boys were like, fuck you, you're not a comic. You're just like a hot actress. Just go be a hot actress. But I think now that's changed with Instagram. Like, you can be pretty and write jokes and be funny. But I agree. If you go full throttle, if you go bikini, I'm a whore, your jokes better be like Mae West.
Right.
With like over sexual and funny. Do you know that I saw a TikTok that Mae West may have actually been a man?
No.
Yes. Raquel Welch, there's this great TikTok and she goes, I went to go meet her in a hotel room. The hotel room was very dark and she only was in the shadows and her hands were enormous. Oh. I think she may have been a man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Because she was big too. She was very big. And Raquel Welch said that they would never be photographed next to each other. That Mae did not want her in the same.
Because she was so tall.
Big. Mae was big. She's a big old broad, big old sassy broad with a 2-piece, a 3-piece. Maybe she was oh, sorry, we can't say that. What is she now? Go ahead and edit that out so the fucking snowfleks don't come after me.
Identifies as a woman.
She's a trans woman. I have to piss so bad. I drank so much water.
But that would be drag if she's a man, right? That's in female attire. Drag. Yeah, she's just doing drag.
But then how did she get tits back then? Now I don't buy it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because they didn't do like hormone stuff back then. So I don't know what the deal is. But she was a big old bitch. So you and me.
Anyway.
Change
subject.
You and I, hardcore girl dudes, bros, and then now we're moms. And how are you navigating career stuff in life now?
You know what's been so great is what the pandemic taught us was that we could write so much from home.
Yeah.
And even my writing partner and I, my writing partner that I write screenplays with, we used to go into each other's houses and we would go before he went to work at his other job at like 6 a.m. and I would drive to his house or he would drive to mine. And we lived very far apart. And so we're always just trying to write that way. But now we just do it over Zoom, and Final Draft has collaboration mode. So you can both be looking at the same script and typing into the same script at the same time. So, and it, and then we just do an outline on a Google Doc. So we're both looking at the Google Doc, and so we make a really detailed outline, and then we write the screenplay.
Amazing.
Very quick. We're pretty quick. But so now when you're writing on a show, most of the time you don't have to come in until the shoot day.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So you don't have to go in every day and do this.
Oh, that's great. So
Yeah.
in LA, you do all the pre-production stuff over Zoom. So
Yeah,
smart.
everything's Zoom.
And it
then,
saves money on like renting a space, probably bringing the whole staff in and doing writers meetings. You can just do that over Zoom. It's so much better.
everything's over Zoom. And then you just kind of get sent off with an assignment, and then you come back. But what's been
Amazing.
kind of crazy, though, is that because you don't have to do that, I can have 2-3 jobs at a time.
Ooh.
So you're really kind of double dipping. If you're not like on a show that you like a daily show, we would never be able to do Lights Out with David Spade like that again
No.
or anything like that. But I have another a show that will be coming out hopefully eventually once the writer's strike stopped. And I'm the head writer of that show. And that's for
cool.
TBS. And I'm like, I could probably, it's just a pilot, so I could probably do a few things.
It's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, in December, I think I had 4 different jobs in December.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
you think about it, like you're saying, Lights Out that's a daily, like I guess they would call it a strip show. Is
Yeah.
that what so it's like you
Late
need the
night, right.
audience, you have to prep the talent, you get the topics day of. That's a heavy thing to do. But if you're not, why are we there all the time? You don't need to be there.
No need. No
so
need.
stupid.
But if it's a daily show, you definitely have to be there. But anything else, it's like, no, we'll just come in for the day of the shoot. Or maybe one other day if we have a rehearsal or something.
Yeah.
So no need.
No need.
It's very easy to balance it. And like my son's daycare is just right down the street. So
It's awesome. Well, I think too, like on a deeper level too, I think once you have children, you really reprioritize your time because there's so little of it, and your friendships and who you spend. You don't really have a lot of extra time. But the career for me too, I mean, because Tom, his stuff just took off and he's doing stadium tour. And the last 2 years I've been like, that's cool. I'll raise the kids. Like I'll stay home more and pull back. And like, I think in the very, very, very beginning when we had Ellis, it was really hard on my ego to be like, wait, what? We were equal. And now I'm the one that's taking the hit. I thought we were supposed to be doing this together. And it's like, well, that's not always how it works out. I mean, I'm sure some marriages are like 50-50, but I don't know any that are. I think I know like a couple of people who the dad stays home, which is amazing. But that was tough. And now I'm like, I prefer to be the one that's not doing everything.
Oh, I know. And
I'm
people
exhausted.
ask me what I want to do for a living. I go, nothing. What do you mean? I don't want to do anything. I want to sit at home and play backgammon on my phone. That's what I want to do. Is there a career where I can do that? But I think, with Chris and I, he has to do all he has to be at work. His show starts at 9 a.m. where we live. So he leaves by 7. And then, so I kind of take care of the whole morning duties. And then when I go out and do stand up at night, he takes care of the responsibilities, like getting him into bed, basically.
Great.
So and we kind of decided to really parent that way because Cage was getting very clingy with me, like constantly. He was in that I think they hit a phase where they go, I want to be back inside, like I want to go back and I don't want to. And he was just, and it was really hurting Chris's feelings that the boy would just be like, no, I don't want daddy at all. And I said, well, I think you guys need to have a thing. You need to have a thing. Like daddy always reads books.
Yeah.
Mommy doesn't
Smart.
read books. Mommy doesn't know how to read.
Yeah.
Daddy reads books. Mommy makes breakfast. Daddy reads books. Whatever it is. Mommy, we walk to school every day. We have our time in the morning where we're snuggling, and like him and daddy need that time together. So making sure that he gets equal love and respect. And then here I am on this trip. I don't really go on a lot of trips anymore. It's not really worth it. Even my agent's like, when do you want to go back on the road? And I'm like, never. What are you talking about? I mean, I will go here and there, but I could do maybe one weekend a month, but it's got to be really worth it for me to leave my family.
Of course.
Because now the Comedy Store pays so much.
Oh, that's good.
It pays, so much. I mean, $400 or $500 for a show, I think is
amazing.
a lot.
That's great
compared
for
to
a
where we
local
were.
spot.
So like, why would I want to
$20
fly?
spots? $15.
fly out of town.
No, you shouldn't do that.
You know, when I
Doesn't
could
make
just
sense.
stay there and do a couple spots and like after taxes and commission, I would. That's what
it's
I
bullshit.
bring them anyway.
But that's what happens too when you have kids is that you kind of look more at the economics of who's doing what. And you go like, well, that's not going to work. I can't be burning time doing this and that unless it makes sense financially.
Well, then also too, I go on the road with Tosh every once in a while.
Oh, how's
and
he doing?
He's fantastic.
He's the best.
He's the
He's
greatest
so
human
funny.
being. He's so incredible.
He's so
but
funny.
his son and my son have the same exact birthday. They're just a year apart.
Oh my gosh.
So a lot of times, you know, and Daniel always brings everybody with him, his whole family.
Good. Why not? If you can
And so,
do it.
yeah. So sometimes I can bring Cage too. And like that makes it very easy because like, oh, they can play together. They can hang out, you know.
Awesome.
We don't really do long trips with them. I didn't go on the bus tour or anything, but we'll just do like the Vegas trip.
Don't do the bus thing.
No,
Terrible.
no. We'll just do Vegas and then they all can play together during the day. And
It's fun.
Yeah, it's
That's
fantastic.
easy.
Yeah.
But also too, I found that I don't say I don't care about the career as much, but it's definitely shifted in terms of like my priorities have changed so much that I really look for. I love doing this show. Obviously, stand up is still my greatest passion in life, but like the happiness I get when I get home and like I will just strip down, take all this makeup off, and then take my shoes and socks off, go put on some crazy shirt, and then just play with the kids. You know, and that's like the best part of my day. And like, oh, let's go look for worms. And we found an inchworm the other day.
Yeah.
And Julian was losing his marbles. Like, you know, and there's a butterfly on the window. And oh my goodness, isn't that special? Like those things are just, I didn't have that before. Or I didn't have that ever, I think, growing up because I grew up in LA. And yeah, I think that stuff becomes more important to me in many ways.
Yeah. I think you find these moments and you just go, I want to remember
Yeah.
this. And it helps balance. You know, that's why they make kids so cute so that you don't shake the shit out of them and tell them that they're insane, you know? Like, I'm like, this is, yeah. I mean, my son is like, I mean, he's really calmed down now that he's 3.5, but he was such a runner when he'd go, we'd get to a crowded place like the fair and he'd go, I'll be right back.
No.
And then he would just run.
No.
Like, and I can't catch him. Like he's a seal, right? And I'm a shark. I can only swim one direction or I die, right? I'm old. I'm a dinosaur. And I'm like, what do you mean you'll be like,
Yeah.
Mom, I'll be right back. I'm like, you don't know my name. You understand? Like you don't know anything.
You don't know your address.
You don't know,
You don't know my phone number.
You don't know anything. You're like, where's my mom? Everyone here is named Mom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like so I had to get him a leash and do a whole thing. And I got him an AirTag.
What's that?
You know, the Apple AirTag that you can put on your suitcase.
Oh, I want that
I put
for
it
my kid. That's
yes,
smart.
I put it on. They make necklaces for
Look
them.
that up. I want to do that.
They make
Let's see it.
necklaces for
Let's
them on
see that.
Amazon, and you can put them right on your kid, and you always know exactly where they are. It's
Well,
like-
shit, I'm doing that today.
yes. Yeah.
Oh my God. And how do I trick my kids in keeping this on them?
You put it on a necklace.
and you're like, look at the cool necklace
Like,
mommy bought you.
Yes. They make little necklaces for them.
Ooh.
You'll see if you put in AirTag necklace.
I'm doing it. I'm buying it.
Necklace.
Very cool.
Yeah. So they have those keychains, but yeah, those little necklaces.
I'm doing it
Uh-huh.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they
Yeah.
take off Ellis one time. We were at the park when he was 2 years old, and he just went to the drinking fountain, and out of nowhere, just took off running down a grass field. And I was like, oh, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And they're so fast.
How do I catch them?
Yeah, you're not gonna. And I was like, Alice! Just like, they're crazy. Their brains are so dysregulated. They don't.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. And like,
Straight out the front door too. Like
I
I'd be
know.
like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm exercising. Say that. I'm like,
traffic?
You're not exercising.
oh, I hate that. Or when they would they would let themselves out. I know I had to get those bars.
I had to get the bar
yeah,
at the top
like,
that he can't reach.
what are you doing?
What are you doing? No, I just walk out the front door like an old person.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like silver alert. I'm like, yep, same as the Amber Alert. I totally get it. Just peace.
No reason, no rhyme or reason. I remember my little guy, he's like, Mom, I want pizza. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I hate cheese, but I want pizza.
Sure.
It's like, okay, well, psycho, I don't have to explain it to you. I'm not going to explain it to the kid. but like they're irrational demands and stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you can't unwrap the cheese. You got to put the thing on, like all
And
that
they
stuff.
have a meltdown over an avocado.
Yeah.
You're like, why'd you open it? I just want the avocado. I'm like, you don't want me to cut it open? You just want to eat it like a fucking apple? What is wrong with you? I know. And then just tears and crying and like, I'm like,
The tears.
it's gotta be, yeah. But now, once I learned now we do a marble reward system.
Ooh.
So we have a tiny little mason jar, and whenever he does something that when I ask him to do it, he gets a marble.
Ooh.
And he's always like, I stayed in my bed. I didn't come out. And I go, you're in my bed right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know. They're
you
always
definitely
in my
came
bed.
out. But I'm like, you're right, buddy. You're right. You know, because if he doesn't come out at bedtime, he can
Hold
earn
on.
a marble.
I think you're, and then you get him like a toy at the end of the marbles.
We talk about something he's excited about, like, oh, I really want a baseball helmet. Like, I got to get a baseball helmet. And I'm like, well, so then I can't. Right now, he can't really understand to ask for things because everything comes to him. But so I will kind of decide, like, oh, he's really into tow trucks. As soon as you fill up your marble jar, you get a tow truck or ice cream. Sometimes we'll go out for ice cream.
Yep.
Or right now it's bases. We're going to get some bases for the backyard. I'm going to get those bases. And it just teaches them to save for something too.
future. Yes. Yeah. So Tom and I, both boys, like we go through these constant cycles of you're not allowed to come into our bedroom until 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. for the fucking
light turn on, the green light.
We've done the light thing. That's now a fucking no. It's not happening anymore. So last night Ellis just snuck into my bed at like 10, and he's a quiet guy, so I didn't even notice. And then I'm too tired to get up and be like, And this morning I woke up and I go, and he goes, Mom, I woke up in your bed. What happened? He's so sneaky. Yeah. I was like,
oh my God, that must have been a genie that transported me into here. I can't believe
he
that.
said that to me. He goes, I just ended up on your bed. I was like, yeah, sure. And then the little one comes in at fucking 6 a.m. and then, So Tom is just both of us. So maybe this marble thing, if I can incentivize, but what I've learned with my kiddos is like, they have such short-term memory. It's like that, it's got to be like 5 marbles reward. You know what I mean? Not like a whole jar. If you do this for fucking 5 days, I'll get you something.
You just do a small little jar. And like every time, like it's also, you know, it should be that 10-to-1 ratio where you're telling them 10 positive things that they're doing and 1 negative thing.
Okay.
For every 1 negative thing, you should tell them 10 positive things. And that's supposed to incentivize them as well.
Yeah,
just like,
I got to tell you, listening to you talk about raising a single child, like all this thought, you can't, once there's another motherfucker,
that's
you're
why
like,
I'm not having another one. I'm
listen.
sorry. No.
Like my house is just like, as long as you wipe your ass, I'm fine. I just wipe.
No.
Somebody fucking wipe their own.
No.
Like
I
I'm
don't
so tired that the thought of parenting at your level, which is so good and normal and rad, like I can't, you know, could you imagine more than 2?
No way. I'm not going to be outnumbered. I already enjoy playing zone. I don't want to go to man, right? And
I don't
like
know.
that.
That's a sports joke that I don't understand.
But zone means
I'm a girl.
It means
Okay.
a few people guard one.
Okay.
Man to man is one-on-one, right?
Ugh.
So if there's, for me, we can still have breaks. Like you take him.
You take him. Yeah.
I'll take him, you know, and no, I'm not going to do that.
The only breaks we get when Tom and I are just on the weekends with the boys is like we give the 7-year-old an iPad and then one of us takes the 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the break for the other person.
Totally.
Because the 4-year-old, this motherfucker, like the minute he opens his eyes, bing, hi, mommy, I love you. What are we doing today? What am I going to have? Can I have chocolate chip pancakes? And then we're going to go to the park. Like he talks all day long. And Tom and I are like, this chatty motherfucker, shut the fuck up. But like literally we're like, shut the fuck up, dude. He's just talking. Because he can put his thoughts together now better. So I think he's just stoked. Is your kid chatty?
Oh, yeah. To everyone. He's very friendly, too. Says hello to every single person on the bike path. I got a new cool bike. I'm on a new cool bike. And now he's winking now, too. So he'll just I'm like, that's not when you wink. But it's fine.
To strangers. Wink to strangers, Cage.
So bizarre, but just like, yeah, so I had a good day. my shorts got stuck in Travel Town. So it was a good day. Like he's just like, no. I saw this woman post one time, like, because I always ask him how school was, and he's like, good. What'd you do? Play with cars,
Yeah, they never tell you.
They never tell you. And like this woman made a post one time and she goes, I asked my daughter what she did at school today and she said nothing. And then her teacher posted a picture of her holding a crocodile.
Really? Forgot that one, huh?
Nothing.
Only the most exciting thing that in the world that could have happened
Do
to
you understand? If I held a crocodile, I would have a bit about it.
That should be all over Instagram.
Yeah. Hello. I mean, it is just fascinating the way their mind works. But we really kind of got a hold on him because we took this parenting class and they told us about the two option, right? Like where you just give them two options and that's it. And both options are things that you want, accomplish the task that you want. Do you want to take a bath or a shower?
Right. I do that too. Yeah.
Can you walk there by yourself or do you need my help?
Ugh,
all that stuff, and then it's like, now he's empowered to make his own choices.
Do I brush your teeth or you brush your teeth?
Right.
I know. The fucking balance.
Yeah.
You put your pajamas on, I put my pajamas on.
Yeah. I know.
Fucking Christ.
But he used to freak out about brushing his teeth.
Oh, I know. They all hate it.
But then I introduced mouthwash.
Ooh.
I made it a thing.
That's exciting.
Or we did it. I started racing him. I'm like, well, I'm going to get done first. Everything is a competition.
Oh, yeah. They like that.
But when I gave him swishes, I'm like, look at these cool swishies. Like, you can't do it until you brush your teeth. It's a reward for brushing your teeth.
Swishies. That's what they call
swishies. Well, that's just mouthwash. It's like kids' mouthwash.
I'm going to try that. But he doesn't worry it's too spicy. He can go, it's spicy.
They make kids stuff. So bubble gum, grape, watermelon,
Yeah, I got them electric toothbrushes, and I found, boys like to pushy buttons.
Sure.
So that one works.
Yeah.
Now, if I could only get them to not pee on the toilet seat, that would be
forget
cool.
it. Never
I
gonna
heard the
happen.
Targets. I should get the Targets. And
the Targets.
Again, too tired.
You do nature pee, though, right?
Oh, all day.
Yeah.
Nature pee. You guys call it that, too?
Nature pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside in the backyard. That's what it's for, bro.
Yeah. We put in a shower when we put in the pool in our backyard. We put in a pool last year. And I needed to run water to that side of the house, so I had to put in a hose so I could water plants on that side because I'm
80
that
years
person.
old,
yeah. And then I go, while you're putting water over here, I might as well just put hot water over here. It's not extra.
Yeah.
So we put in a shower, and really we just use it to pee. But it's so great because now nobody has to walk into the house wet.
That's amazing.
So
that's amazing.
But
it's a victory.
The dog also goes on, not in the shower, but his side yard where he relieves is that whole area. So
it's a piss corner.
It has quite the smell.
Yeah, that's fine. It's good.
It is.
Everyone's house smells
outside.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So my little boys, this is not Tom's doing. I have always been like, just pee in the pool, dude. Just when you're in the pool. Everybody does it. But of course, that's backfired a few times. We've been on vacation, like in a hotel in the pool area, and they're like, Mom, I'm peeing. I'm like, no. Shh. And so, but now what these little shits have started doing, and I just saw them do it yesterday. We were in the pool, and they just stand and pee into the pool.
Oh,
now.
Sure. From the outside.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, no, you can't just do that. Yeah, there's like etiquette, bro. Everybody does it, but nobody does it. You don't say it. Like that and like I always
picking your nose.
Oh yeah. And then I often like to point out like unhealthy behaviors in public, like smoking cigarettes or obesity. And I'll be like, see that guy eats nothing but Chick-fil-A. That's why you can't eat too much. And then the other day, Ellis saw a really big obese person. He's like, Mom, that guy eats Chick-fil-A all day, right? And I was like, shh. I go, yeah, but you're not supposed to say it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Or motorcycles are for dummies. I let them say that one. Anytime there's a guy in a motorcycle, like, those are for dummies, right? I'm like, those are for dummies.
My friend Matt Horowitz, his kid.
Is he Jewish?
Yeah. Very funny writer. Very good writer. Very funny stand-up. And he had this bit the other day where he said his kids were in the car and they saw somebody in a wheelchair and they go, what happened? And he goes, too much screen time.
Perfect. perfect. I'm going to say that now for everything. When they're like, what happened? Too much screen time. So we take it away.
That's why you only get a
That's
certain
fucking
amount.
amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty good idea when you come up with that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. My son is like you were talking about them saying things in public. My son is obsessed with in the car. I don't have to give him anything in the car. He's just so excited to go somewhere and see all the race cars on the street and, but he loves going up and down, like on a freeway, sometimes you're going uphill, sometimes you're going, so he'll be like, oh, we're going up. Oh, we're going down. Wow.
So cute.
That's very cute until he's on an airplane. We're going down. We're going down. Just screaming. God, no. You think, yes. I mean, technically, because it's just like when a pocket hits, it's not when we're landing. It's the whole airplane ride. He feels like we're going down and he's just screaming, ooh, we're going down. We're going down. Sorry. I'm sorry. He also will talk to every single person. Hi, my name's Cage, and that's Mommy, and we're on an airplane, and I'm going to get a special drink, and we're going up. We're going to go up real high, and this is an airplane, and I'm going to get a special drink, and that's my mom, and I'm Cage, and we're going on a special plane. And I'm like, you can just say it once. They get it. Oh, yeah, it's too much, man. He's very, very funny. He's very funny.
I started doing this thing where I'm a dog lover. And so, we would always be out in the mall, and especially in LA when we were walking around all the time, there's so many beautiful dogs. I love meeting dogs. And I'd always walk up to, hi, can I pet your dog? I teach them, can I pet your dog? Yeah, sure. Who's the dog? Da, da, da. And now, like, every time there's a dog, every motherfucking dog gets a pet. And I'm like, God damn it, what have I done?
What did I do?
And like, don't pet the aggressive one with the choke collar. Yeah. Like, that's a pit bull. Don't pet the pit bull.
Yeah, don't just pick and choose.
Pick and choose the little ones.
It's so funny. Are your kids, well, my son is obsessed with private parts now.
Always dicks, buttholes, balls.
Those your boobs?
Yeah.
They're mine.
Boobs,
they're
vaginas.
on me. That's where they are.
Yeah.
You don't have a penis, huh? You don't have one? I go, no, still don't, Okay. You remember what it's called? Gina. Yeah. My little niece, she had never seen a penis before Cage was born. And so she's 2 and he's like 4 months old. And I'm giving him a bath and she goes, where's Cage's Gina? And I go, he doesn't have one. He has a penis. She's like, I'm going to touch it. I go, you're not going to touch it. You're absolutely not going to touch it. And she's like, okay, well, I'm just going to look at it really close. I was like, whatever, dude. It's your funeral. He pees a lot, so I don't know. But like, it's so funny how fascinated they are by just all of that.
Endless.
Yeah, that's
the two of them. They're always, I'm going to touch his penis. And I'm like, don't touch his penis. And then yesterday, Julian tucks his penis inside of itself. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where you can tuck I don't know if you guys can still do that, but he literally pokes his own penis inside of his penis. And then he's like, look, Mom, poop. And then they pee in the same toilet at the same time. And then they like to cross the streams.
Sure, yeah.
And then it's just nonstop dick party. Yeah, and I had to explain the difference between kidneys and balls yesterday. Where are my kidneys and where are my balls? Where are my balls? I'm like, oh, boy.
Why kidneys?
We were watching a short on Disney. It's actually really good, Inner Workings, and it shows this guy's kidneys and bladder, and he pees and the bladder shrinks. And I was like, those are kidneys. Those are I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
There it is. It's actually a really great little short cartoon about a guy who works a widgety job and, how he controls his appetites for fun. And one day he's like, fuck it, I'm going to have fun. And he has fun. It's so
and he has fun.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah. Let's do some business work of business. Let's do some follow-ups. Really important stuff on the show. We got to catch up with the audience here.
Sure.
Hey, Mommy. So I'm listening to your latest episode with Rob Iler, and you're talking about how impoverished Asian children working in sweatshops are required to use chopsticks to use rice, and Rob mentioned using spoons. And it immediately reminded me, or made me realize, that that's a huge Vag Dryer. Like, men that use spoons to eat food that they should be using a fork for. So basically anything other than some dessert, cereal, or soup. If you're using a spoon for mac and cheese or other types of small pasta or rice or beans or any of that, ew, not a fan. Definitely disgusting. Anyway, love you, Melody.
So we have a segment called Vag Dryers, and there are different things that women get turned off by with men.
Oh, okay.
And so she's saying she doesn't like it when a man uses a spoon.
I see. Okay.
To eat fork things.
It dries
with.
her vagina.
Yeah. Now I would go opposite day that it would dry my vagina to watch my husband use a fork where there should be spoon things. For instance, yogurt, which I've done. I'm guilty. Cereal. Things like that.
A fork with cereal.
You can do it in desperate times.
I know, yeah,
I've done
of
it.
course.
You just have to do it fast, and then it's in there. I've done it.
Or you just use it to scoop it into your
Right.
shovel it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you understand her? Sometimes they don't dry your pussy the way they dry other women's pussies. You know, subjective.
So I really couldn't understand, but she was saying if you use chopsticks to eat rice when you're supposed to use something else to eat that.
No, I think it's if you use a spoon instead of chopsticks.
When you're using the incorrect utensil.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't bother me.
You know what does bother me? I will. Okay.
I'm just thankful he's using a utensil.
I know, right? My pussy gets dry. When people don't eat exotic food. If you say I don't eat sushi, go fuck your mother.
Right.
You and I are not going to get along. And when they use the chopsticks, okay, let's say these are 2 sticks, right? Proper chopstick etiquette, I think, is around here, higher up. When I see some fucking Nimrod dipshit low frequency dweller doing it down here, maybe that's because I was with a Chinaman. I dated a Chinaman for 4 years. Nadav is the only one. I
YouTube doesn't like it.
Lived with a Chinese guy. I dated a Chinese guy, and he taught me this is the right higher up. Because this is a low status thing to go down here.
Oh.
And it bothers me when I see white people that can't use chopsticks, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm not very good at chopsticks. I'm sorry. I do it. I get it. I get it accomplished, but I'm not great at it.
That bothers me. And then I also get bothered when I see a guy and eating a steak and then he stabs the meat with this one and then he does this stuff with the knife.
Oh, goodness.
I can't handle.
What about ketchup with a steak?
Fine.
You're like,
Oh,
no,
it's a good time.
no.
I could put ketchup on anything.
Oh my gosh.
Ketchup on white rice it slaps so hard. It's my favorite thing.
Ketchup on white rice.
Ketchup on steak.
Are you Canadian?
Ketchup on ramen. Yeah, I am actually. I was born in Canada. Yeah, I love it.
Ketchup is such a big deal up there.
Yeah.
That is so, like I don't want any sauce on my steak unless it's like some sort of specialty sauce that the chef has prepared. But
No A1? How do you feel?
No.
What's the grossest thing Chris does? Or what's the grossest thing a boy can do that will dry your pussy? For me, it's VR goggles when I see Tom in VR.
Oh.
I'm like, ugh, like a grown man playing video games, I find repulsive.
Yeah. I don't really.
Tivas. Birkenstocks.
He finally threw them away, but he had these gym shorts that were so ginormous, and he would have to tie them and then he would wear them up super high. And he just looked like, remember, you know those old cartoons when guys were wearing a barrel?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looked like. It looked like he was wearing a barrel.
It's so
and I'd
weird.
be like, oh God, and listen, I'm no hot mama, right? But I'm like, all right.
But your clothes fit. You don't wear a barrel. He can afford a pair of shorts. You get them on Amazon. It's not crazy.
He is not someone that would go, oh, I need this. I should go get it.
Sure.
It's got to be like, we are completely out of toilet paper. I guess I'll go get some.
Oh.
It's not like, oh, I'm planning for.
Yeah.
That's why when people go, why aren't you married? I'm like, I don't think he's actually thought about it. I don't think he's thought about it. I mean, the reason that we're not married is because he's never asked. That's kind of the reason.
Really?
He's never asked.
Oh, well, here's what this is the hot tip I gave ladies I forget 2 episodes ago, is that they don't just spontaneously ask.
Oh.
You have to push and manipulate a little and strategic. No, you have to push them to do it. Honestly, and I mean this, I don't know a single woman personally in my circle who's like, and then he did propose. Like, bullshit, bitch. What we don't tell you is that the woman is going, don't you think it's,
Oh,
I
interesting.
want this, and if you don't, this is what I need to feel. This makes my vagina very wet when I'm committed. Yeah, you have to say things like, you know what would make me want to touch your dick so much? A wedding ring. I'm serious. Just be like, think of how great our sex life is going to be. And God, I want to give so many blowjobs at our wedding.
I don't think I could convince him that I'm just going to do a 180 all of a sudden. Just
tell me how much safer you would feel married, and that would probably boost your libido and stuff.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that I think I'm also on the fence about it. As much as I kind of play it up, but I'm also just like, we would have to elope because I don't really like that kind of attention.
It's terrible.
I don't like attention I can't control. So I would have to elope and then we could throw a party. We've definitely talked about that. And I think eventually we will. But at this point, we've been together for 7.5 years. We have a child. We have a mortgage. It's like, I don't know.
You're in it.
Kind of feels like we don't really need more paperwork.
Then don't do it. Then don't do it. It's bad.
I also would want, I would have to make him sign a prenup or something, I think we would, because we would just need to lay it out. Like, hey, you got yours. I got mine. This is what we put into the house.
I know.
I don't know.
So you got to deal with all that, or not. You can just roll the dice.
The more important thing for me was having a baby. I was like, I can get married anytime. I can only have a baby now.
No.
That was a much harder conversation.
I bet.
And I just said, this is your out. I'm giving you an out. Like, you do not have to do this with me. I'm going to have to do this. Whether you do it with me is up to you. I can do it by myself. I don't care. But totally up to you. But this is your out. I'm not going to be upset. I totally get it.
So that was your wedding conversation, your marriage proposal conversation, in essence, was like the baby conversation.
Yeah.
So you did already push and get your way.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Which is normal, by the way. Like, I fully endorse a woman asking for what the fuck she wants from a guy and giving him the choice to say yes or no. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So then, we give it a beat on the wedding. I see what you're saying. Because you're like, gosh, I just pushed for this big thing. Let's wait a few years, especially when the baby gets a little older and you guys can breathe a little, because you're still in the weeds.
Yeah.
3.5 is still in the weeds.
Oh, yeah.
So give it a minute. Maybe when Cage is 7, you guys have calmed down. If you still feel like you want to, then do it.
I think probably Cage will be the one that ends up saying, why aren't you guys married?
And what's your last name? And why
are your last names different? And what's happening? Why are some parents and you're not? And so,
it's go. Well, you know what you're doing. You got everything you wanted out of life. You did it fucking great. Let's do one more voicemail. I'm so hungry.
Hey, Mommy. I've got a Vag Dryer for you.
Sure.
So the other day I was thinking about this because there's these movies coming out. And I had a boyfriend once who waited in line for the midnight showing of the second Lord of the Rings. And there's nothing that drives my vag out than a guy being proud of that and telling people that like a badge of honor. And you just think about them in a camp chair in the dark, near a cinder block, theater. And they're just, can't get drier. Piss on me, beat me.
Yeah. That's definitely a dryer.
I agree. And especially because it's not like this is 1999 and that's the only way you can view a film. Remember that shit when the Star Wars came out and dorks would be lined up around. I had friends that did it in college, but you gave that respect because you're I get it. This is the only place nerds can see nerd things.
Yeah.
But now can't you just fucking watch it on iTunes the day it comes out in the theater? It's why are you doing this?
But also, why do you have to wait in line? Because can't you just buy tickets online?
I know.
Do you have to buy them in person?
Yeah, the whole game's kind of changed at this point where it's rare, but I very much agree with this Vag Dryer. This is people should not be doing this or being proud of it.
Also, there's people that you can pay to go do that for you.
Yes.
And nerds should have money. Nerds are the ones that do have the money.
Right.
So you can pay people to go wait in line for you.
Yeah.
And then you go take their spot. They do that with sneakers all the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's another one.
Shops.
Waiting in line for shoes. What is this, Russia?
I don't wait in line.
This is terrible.
My whole life, I've worked very hard to not have to wait in line.
100%. Thank you.
I board the plane first, motherfucker.
Done.
I'm not waiting in line.
Dues
I'm not doing
paid.
that. Not doing it. I had this whole bit about a club years ago, going to the club at 40, where I'm like, what am I, some peasant? I'm like, I like the whole, and then all you want to do when you get in a club is sit down, but that costs $1,000. It's like the most obnoxious thing in the whole world.
It's terrible.
Oh, waiting in line.
It's terrible.
Gross.
Terrible.
Mm-mm.
I know.
Mm-mm.
God, I don't do any of that shit. Wait, standing in line for sneakers. I mean.
Yeah.
Can't you just buy that shit online? You can buy everything online.
There's certain stores that, there's a sneaker app. As a sneakerhead, there's the sneakers app, and you at 7:00 they go on sale, so you just put in for them, and like it'll say you win them or you don't, and you win the chance at buying them or you don't. But then some stores will have a select. We have 50 pairs at this store, but you have to go to that store because they don't have an online.
And by the way, can I tell you something? Any company that would manipulate me as a consumer that way, because it's supply and demand, they know what they're doing. They're creating a false sense of demand just to get your dollars. It's like, shut the fuck up, Beyonce. I know you can make more athletic wear than you do. Okay, you should know that we like it and make more of it, and it's always scarcity, and I hate that.
Yeah.
What's her brand? She's always dropping it on, God damn it, Adidas and Beyonce.
Yeah,
and I hate the collabs, and they always sell out so fast. And they're so cool. Ivy Park.
Yeah.
And she's always like, I'm only making, 5 pieces. Like, bitch, make like 5 million. We like it. Sell. All right, I got to go. What's your scenario to pitch?
Because here's what I'm thinking is that, because you're waiting around line for shoes that you want, right?
Sure.
Let's say it's about 15, 20 years ago. Bauhaus has a show coming up.
Sure.
And are you going to be waiting in line? Because it's going to be such a small room.
15 to 20 years ago. I did it. I bought the tickets on Ticketmaster.
Uh-huh.
No, I just phoned it in the 90s. I saw them. No, I didn't.
Fucking A. There you go.
I bought a pair of Pixies Vans. They come to you if they're meant to be.
Right.
I don't know.
Fuck yeah.
No, that wasn't my steez. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It just was never, I don't,
Right.
I'm not that big of a fan.
Waiting in line sucks more than liking the thing that you love.
Yes.
Again, and if Bauhaus would manipulate me that way, it's just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
YMH doesn't do that to people. Go stand in line for tickets to the live show. Like, fuck you, you fucking cunt. You don't like that. You don't like us if you're doing that. All right. Listen, watch Sarah Tiana's special 44 on YouTube right now. She's brilliant. Thank you so much for extending your stay here in Austin just to do this show. I know it was a big deal, and you're very busy, and I love you. I appreciate you.
I'll fly anywhere to see you.
Oh,
I will.
Favorite.
You're the best.
You're the best. I love you.
Thank you.
Until next time, stay cool, moms. Bye, meow.
Hi, Mommy. Thank you for watching that episode. Did you like what you see? I hope you did. So why don't you subscribe? Just click the subscribe button and, hit the notification bell so you can get notified. And also, why don't you watch another video? Watch one of these. You know what I'm saying? Like right here, down there, whatever. There's so much stuff, bro. I make these all the time for you to watch. That's why I'm here. I love you.